On the night of June 4th, 1960, 4 teenagers from Finland went camping near a quiet and peaceful place called Lake Bodom. Their names were Niels Gustafsson, Maija-Liisa Irmelin, Seppo Boisman, and Anja Tuominen. It was supposed to be a simple weekend trip, just a tent, some food, and a night by the lake. As the night went on, they crawled into their tent and fell asleep, completely unaware that this calm evening would turn into one of Finland's most disturbing mysteries. Sometime in the early hours of the morning, while it was still dark, someone approached the tent from the outside. Without warning, the attacker began stabbing and beating the teenagers through the fabric of the tent, not even giving them a chance to wake up or defend themselves. Maija-Liisa, Seppo, and Anja were brutally murdered on the spot, suffering multiple stab wounds and heavy blunt force injuries. Niels Gustafsson was the only one who survived, though he was badly injured with broken facial bones and stab wounds. When morning came, the scene was horrifying. The tent collapsed, bodies inside and signs of a violent struggle. That single night at Lake Bodom shocked the entire country and marked the beginning of a mystery. The most important and controversial figure in the Lake Bodom murders is Niels Gustafsson, the only one who came out alive that night. When Niels was found in the morning, he was in terrible condition. His face was badly beaten, his jaw was broken, and he had stab wounds on his body. After regaining consciousness, Niels told the police that he remembered seeing a tall, blonde man near the tent earlier and that this stranger might have been involved. However, his memory of the attack itself was unclear, and he couldn't fully explain what happened once the violence began. In the early years, investigators treated Niels as a survivor and a key witness, and his statements guided much of the search for an unknown attacker. But as time passed, doubts slowly started to grow. Some people questioned how Niels survived when the others did not, and why certain injuries on him didn't fully match the original crime theory. Decades later, those same statements he gave as a traumatized teenager were re-examined, and instead of protecting him, they became the reason police turned their suspicion toward him. What began as a story of survival slowly turned into one of accusation. Over the years, the Lake Bodom murders have been surrounded by many different suspects, but none of them have ever fully explained what really happened that night. In the beginning, police looked at local criminals and troublemakers, including people known for violent behavior in the area. One such suspect was a man who reportedly hated campers and was seen near the lake, but there was never enough solid evidence to connect him directly to the crime. Then there were theories about mysterious outsiders, strangers who may have been passing through the area. As years passed and leads dried up, attention slowly shifted back to the campsite itself, and eventually to Niels Gustafsson. Investigators questioned how he survived when the others didn't. However, this theory also had major problems, especially considering Niels' severe injuries and lack of a clear motive. In 2005, more than 40 years after the Lake Bodom murders, the case took a dramatic turn when Niels Gustafsson was finally brought to trial. Prosecutors claimed that new forensic evidence suggested Niels himself had attacked the others after an argument. They argued that some of his injuries could have been self-inflicted and that his story didn't fully match the physical evidence found at the scene. Inside the courtroom, the defense strongly pushed back, explaining that the investigation from 1960 was deeply flawed and that crucial evidence had been mishandled or lost. Medical experts testified that Niels' injuries were too severe to be fake, and there was still no clear motive that explained why he would commit such a brutal act. In the end, the court acquitted Niels Gustafsson of all charges, stating that the evidence was not strong enough to prove guilt beyond doubt. After the verdict, Niels was awarded financial compensation by the Finnish state for the emotional suffering and damage caused by the long investigation and trial.